Dear student, now I am going to start lecture 2. As I have discussed in my previous lecture, the differences between General Assembly and Security Council in detail. So now let's move. I have written here there are so many branches of the UNO. They are working in the different part of the world. So they have created goodwill among the nations. So first, WHO. WHO stands for World Health Organization. WHO was established on 7th April 1948, permanently founded on 7th April 1948. So the WHO functions are as under. WHO has solved the problem of the health related issues. We celebrate 7th April as the World Health Day. So at that time, after the Second World War, there was problem of yaws in approximately 1950 in Indonesia. Approximately problem of yaws and malaria. Yaws was a disease of hot wet climate. Like the fever and shivering, and the kid or children, they become burden on their family. So it was very dangerous disease like the plague. And so yaws in Indonesia, approximately there were so many cases in 1950. 11 million cases were there, and 13 lakh cured by WHO and UNICEF in 1950 in Indonesia. At that time, then they announced that most of the villages were free from that disease. So Indonesia have supplied buildings and chain workers, and they trained doctors and medicines they provided. With the help of the WHO and UNICEF, they solved the problem and that the disease, and the Indonesia became free from that disease in 1950. So as I mentioned, yaws. Another disease was malaria in the Uttar Pradesh or in the Terai district of India. So there were so many cases of malaria at that time, and the WHO supplied trained medicines and the trained doctors, and they solved the problem of malaria in the Terai district of India. So malaria and yaws, these kind of diseases, dangerous diseases at that time were there in the India and Indonesia. So with the help of the WHO and the UNICEF, they were successful in the solving the problem. Now, second branch is UNICEF. So UNICEF means United Nations International Children Emergency Fund. United Nations International Children Emergency Fund. UNICEF is also known as the friend of children all over the world. So UNICEF helps children in study, they solve the basic problem of the study and the health related issues. So UNICEF is working successfully in the different part of the world, even in Pakistan. So in these branches, people from the different countries of the world, they are working together to solve the problems of disease or health or different education related issues. So they are working successfully. So it's a friend of children all over the world. Now let's move third branch, FAO. FAO was established in 1943. FAO stands for Food and Agricultural Organization. Food and Agricultural Organization. Actually, hunger is the basic problem for FAO. To solve the hunger related issue, to solve the food related issue in the different countries of the world, especially in South African countries. And so hunger or food related issue, how to store food, like I have written there, how to grow more food. It is a challenging task for the FAO, and how to control plant and animal disease. If we become successful in controlling plant and animal disease, then it will be easy for us to store or to yield good food. So how to protect food in storage, even if we have enough food in storage. So how to protect it for a long time, so it can help in different countries to supply food where there is deficiency of food in the countries. So how to increase yield of farms, fisheries and forests. And like it published useful literature on forestry, fisheries and agricultural field. So FAO handle food related issues, fisheries or agricultural related problem, how to solve these kind of problem under, so FAO becomes successful to solving the food related issue among the different nations, and supply food in different nations where there's deficiency, and they contact with the FAO, and FAO becomes successful, and there are rules and regulation. So later on, another branch is UNESCO. UNESCO stands for United Nations Education, Science and Cultural Organization. Now the function of the UNESCO is to try to advance human well-being through education, science and culture. Now day by day, with the help of the modern technology and the practical improvement or in the scientific field, we know the facts and figure. Less than half population of the children, they go to school. So half population of the world children, they go to school, and half population become successful in going to school. So that is the facts and figure of the world. And now that is the challenging task of the UNESCO, how to provide education and how to solve the problem of the education. So they become successful in following the scientific method and technique, because a person who cannot read or write or is aged person, now it is not necessary to only start with the beginning. Education doesn't mean that start with the ABCD. So they provide the vocational training and other courses. So and also, like they prevent, like the UNICEF didn't allow child labor, like the child below age 15 and 12. So they did not allow child to work on like the mechanical work and other sort of work. In a similar way, UNESCO help children to in study, to solve the problem of the study with the scientific method and with the technology. They advance in the field, they try to advance in the scientific field. They provide literature, books, films, and with the help of the radio, with the help of the technology, they in order to bring practical improvement of the life of the people. For example, if the farmer is uneducated person, it's very difficult for him in the field of the agriculture. So with the television or with the programs, what sort of insecticide they use or how to protect food. So these programs and literatures and films, they help farmers to grow more food or yield. In a similar way, child can study, they learn with the basic or practical improvement of the scientific method. They can improve. So except that, there are so many branches like the IMF, International Monetary Fund, that provide loan to Pakistan, and in a similar way, another branch, ILO, International Labour Organization. So in a brief, these branches are working successfully in the different part of the world. And except these branches, I am telling you that UNO approved loan for the Mexico in the village in the west coast of Mexico. In 1951, they approved loan for Mexico, and Mexico progressed with the loan of the UNO. Like the industrial user of the electricity increased from 3 to 33. They started newspaper, radio stations and the night schools, and they progressed, and they built electric plant. So means UNO helped different countries, underdeveloped countries, to help them in order to progress. So these branches are working successfully in the different part of the world. So I have explained these branches, differences between General Assembly and the Security Council, and the formation of the UNO and the establishment of the UNO, and after the Second World War, the aim of the UNO, how to solve the problem of the war, or how to prevent war among the different nations of the world, and how to solve little quarrel among the nation. So we have discussed these things in detail. Now in these chapters, they will give you a question, like the important question, what inspired the foundation of the UNO? and what are the differences between General Assembly and Security Council. So they will ask you, you have to elaborate the General Assembly as equal representation of different countries among the world, and they have all country representation, and Security Council is 15 member, out of 15, 5 are permanent, and other 10, of the other 10, 3 are elected for 2 years term. So you have to mention detail, and they will ask you write down the function of the international bank. So international bank provide loan to poor countries. International bank provide loan, like I have given example of IMF, I have given example of Mexico. So they will ask you any branch, write down the function of WHO, World Health Organization, or write down the function of UNESCO, write down the function of UNESCO, write down the function of International Bank. They will give you one question from branches. It is very important. You have to memorize different branches and their function. In exam, they might give you one question from branches, and other, I told you that the differences between General Assembly and Security Council is very important question. And question number 1, that how the UNO become successful in solving the problem of the war related issues, or what inspired the foundation of the UNO. So these questions are what is the motive of the UNO, what is the aim of the UNO. They will give you a question with the change of pattern, the way of asking might be changed. So in this way, it is very easy for you to write. So listen the lecture properly, listen it again and again, and note it down, important point in your register. It will be easy for you. I have explained step by step, textbook step by step, like we have 4 to 5 pages. So I have explained step by step from paragraph to paragraph in a detail. So formation of the UNO, branches and their function, differences between General Assembly and Security Council, I have discussed in detail. Let's hope the concept is clear. If you have any question, you can ask from me. So now in my coming lecture, I will discuss another chapter, my bank account. Thank you for listening.